Hey everyone, I'm Ted with the Holmes team at William Ravis Real Estate. And today I am excited to have a special guest with me, Brian Shawan, and he is with William Ravis Mortgage. He works closely with many of my buyers when it comes to getting pre-approved for a mortgage before they start the home search process. One of the most important things that buyers need to do before they start the home search is to talk to a mortgage banker and get pre-approved. Getting pre-approved can mean a lot of different things, but the great thing about a pre-approval and the conversation that you have with your banker is that you're not obligated to use that bank when you actually apply for your mortgage. So when you sign a contract on a house, you're not obligated to use them, but they are a great resource throughout the process. Brian, thanks for coming on. And what I wanted to focus on today are what are the things that buyers should not do when applying for a mortgage. And I think there's some misconceptions out there, and I was hoping you could shed some light on the most important things that a buyer should not do when applying for a mortgage.
Happy to discuss, and thanks again for having me, Ted. Always a pleasure. There are a multitude of things really that buyers should and obviously should not do when applying for a mortgage or looking for home financing. I think my philosophy really has been it's never too early to start a conversation with a mortgage professional. Not only will it allow you to see kind of where you stand in the your financeability, eligibility, approvability, but also has the potential to get ahead of any issues that could arise throughout the home buying process, i.e. when you have an accepted offer and need to start the loan process. Many of the things I would say top of mind, my kind of rule of thumb, what to avoid doing, if you can help it at least, is willingly leaving your job. At least without telling your loan officer, discussing it first. Obviously, if it's out of your control, it's out of your control. But willingly leaving your job can impact your income, which ultimately could impact your eligibility for the financing. Similarly, paying off current liabilities. There's also a common misconception in the industry where borrowers feel that by paying off their liabilities, credit card, auto loans, student loans, it's going to increase their FICO score. On the opposite side, it actually decreases their score in the short term by freeing up the credit. So oftentimes we may recommend just pay it down if you want to, if we run into debt to income issues, rather than paying it off completely. And then my third one would be not taking out new credit throughout the loan process, at least or especially without discussing first with the loan officer, as that may impact your eligibility and may require additional documentation by the underwriter.
Great, that's great advice, Brian. And I think, from my perspective, the most important thing about working with someone like you is you have a lot of options. You have a lot of places to place loans. But more importantly, since the buying process takes time and can take time, and you don't know exactly how long it's going to take, it's that relationship and being able to ask the question along the way, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I not do this? Because when you get to the point of, actually having to apply, there's certain time frames that you don't want to do things, and having you there as a consultant through this process is critical.
I agree. I think being as transparent as possible with the loan officer can only work in your favor. Obviously not everyone earns income the same way. Not everyone qualifies for conventional financing. So kind of, again, getting ahead of issues, being transparent about your financial situation, I think is the best approach. Chances are it's going to come up throughout the loan process anyway. So why not get ahead of it in the beginning? Come up with a plan, a solution, rather than dealing with it throughout the loan process when there's other departments kind of involved, title, appraisals, financing, moving, can alleviate a lot of stress.
All right, Brian, look, I really appreciate you taking a moment to talk about this. And thank you everybody for watching. If there's any questions, you'll be able to contact me, and we're also going to put Brian's information up on the screen and you can contact him. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for having me.